AITA for telling my dad he's a better husband than father. My dad has been married to his wife Michelle since I was 10. Before that it was just him and me 17 meters after my mom died when I was 6. Michelle was very enthusiastic straight away. She told me she would be a great mom to me and said she was so excited to have a son. After they got married she asked if she could adopt me and I said no. My dad asked why. I said because I didn't want to be adopted. They told me it could be really convenient if I was adopted and that it would mean a lot to Michelle. They dropped it after about 4 months, only to bring it up a year later. I said no again and told them I would never ever want Michelle to adopt me, that I did not want her to be my mom and nothing would change how I felt. I'm guessing Michelle can't have kids of her own since they started down the adoption route. They went through a lot of the interviews and studies and I was talked to. They met with the agency, met with a birth mother 3 times and each time it fell through. The last time was at the beginning of the year. Michelle was broken and ended up in therapy after it and they decided to stop trying to adopt. It was 2 weeks ago that Michelle sat me down and told me she loved me and had always hoped to be a mother to me, but I said no, and that she tried to be a mother another way and was knocked back every time, and that she hoped after all these years I would love her enough to give her that wish. It was her way of asking to adopt me again. She gave me all the reasons it would be good, and she really emphasized that it would mean a ton to her. I said no yet again. She was not happy about my decision. My dad called me out on it. He said I could do this one thing and make her so incredibly happy and it would be a security net for me too, and that it was hurting her feelings being rejected so many times by me. He told me I was being selfish and childish and not opening my heart the way I should. I told him he was a better husband to her than he was a father to me, that her feelings matter more than mine to him, and I hoped he would be happy with her without me in their lives in a few months, because I'm tired of being pressured into something I have said no to multiple times, counting the prolonged time at the start when they really tried to talk me into it. He said I was acting like a 7-year-old and that accusing him of being a bad father and threatening him with estrangement was a low blow and very petty. AITA. NTA, be clear that it isn't a threat. It is a consequence of him ignoring your boundaries for the past 7 years. Children are not obliged to serve as emotional props for the adults in their lives. Op's father and stepmother have consistently ignored this one rather simple principle, which might have something to do with why adoption agencies rejected them too. Rather than own up to their own mistakes and learn better, the father is now trying to scapegoat Op. Not a word of that rant about being childish is worth taking seriously. Dad's outburst may have something to do with anxiety about his marriage shortly after the last child grows up leaves home is a frequent time for divorce. Either way, you rubberlob, you are NTA. You didn't create those people's problems, and it isn't your job to fix that. NTA. And if she wants to be your mom so bad, she should have started by respecting your feelings. Seriously. This is so backwards. And I'm speaking as a stepmother. You meet the kids. You get to know the kids on their terms. It's not about what you want from them. It's about what they want from you. You treat the kids with love and respect. You wait for them to develop love and respect back on their time schedule. Then you can talk about being a family. You can't just tell a 10-year-old, I'm your mom, love me. That's never worked. Yup. My eldest siblings are from my mother's first marriage, and they both call my father dad, as that is their choice. The middle siblings from mum's second marriage call him by his first name as they still talk to their father, and he is still their dad. All the grandkids call him Pop or Poppy first name, but none of my siblings have been officially adopted, even though the eldest two have taken his surname and refer to him as dad. I'm sure it would make him weep if they did, but he has never made a single step to ask for it. He just treats them as his kids and the rest is just formality. NTA. She has spent all these years so focused on the word mom that she forgot to actually be your mom. I foster teens. Most of them are very hurt by the time they make it to me. I always let them call me whatever they prefer, but I'm always their mom. Being a mom means protecting and honoring your child's feelings, usually above your own. NTA at all. You made yourself clear since the start and both your dad and Michelle should respect that. Perhaps if Michelle had just been happy being there in a mothering role you would have eventually changed your mind. but instead they tried to pressure you from the start. Good job standing your ground on the matter. NTA. It's hard to lose a parent, and even harder when the remaining parent cares more about their spouse's feelings than yours. And regardless of any of that, it's still your choice. You said no, and they shouldn't keep pushing it. It was really hard to read this towards the end. Rather than listen to their son's words, they'd rather selfishly dismiss them as a threat, childish, petty. It's unfortunate she can't have children, but that's not Op's problem. In her quest for children she left Op behind, and he ignored Op to make his wife happy. Clearly Op just existing isn't enough. So why not remove himself from the situation so they can keep searching for a child? Being adopted doesn't change anything between the people who raised Op. She was being very single-minded and made no room for Op's feelings or compromise. Not a threat. Space made for a wish granted. I hope his father can deal with that. NTA. Not petty. Not childish. Not a threat, if that's really what you really plan to do. I love the phrase asked and answered from courtroom drama movies TV. I use it when people insist on asking me the same question over and over, trying to make me give in and just agree to whatever they want. You can use those 3 words anytime they ask. Then move on to another topic or to another room if necessary. Good luck. NTA. I don't think you were threatening him. I think you more so were telling him what your plans are, so it is moot to bring it up again. Either way, you should distance yourself from them and work on yourself. Maybe after some time all sides and find common ground. NTA. I was thinking about going with nah, but the constant pressure they've put on you is unacceptable. No is a complete sentence and should have been the end of the conversation. NTA. And by what you've written it does seem like you're sad as a better husband than father. NTA. Losing a parent at a young age is traumatic. I'm very sorry for your loss. It is unfortunate that your dad and his second wife have pressured you on this. They are the adults and should be more understanding and considerate of your feelings. It seems bizarre to me that they make such a big deal about it and don't realize their pressure on the subject is likely just creating more negative feelings in you about the subject. I would wager that if Michelle made an effort to build a relationship with you at your pace, you may have reached a place where you were open to the idea. However, that is not what happened. You are a child in mourning for a lost parent, and trying to force this new relationship on you is absolutely poor parenting and shows a huge lack of respect for your feelings and well-being. They should realize that you are still mourning the loss of your mom, and bringing this subject up and pressuring you is likely bringing up feelings of trauma for you. As for the legal benefits of adoption, there are other ways. Michelle could have just asked to be listed as a legal guardian, and now that you're nearly 18 it seems even more bizarre they are pushing this now. What is the point, other than placating Michelle's wishes? Anyway, you're not the R, and you were totally justified in telling your dad what you said considering your circumstances. NTA. It's not a threat, it's a reality check. They've disrespected you by pushing this topic over and over when you've been very clearly against it. I also would have found it weird for a stepmom to come on so strong in the beginning when you were signaling that you don't like that. I'm from very blended family and I've seen that behavior before, and it was alarming when this stranger wants so desperately to be your parent. Like you're a doll to fulfill your needs, not a whole person with your own needs, like sensitivity to the trauma from losing a parent FFS. Honestly, Michelle is the one with this issue and she should go to therapy. Let it go, lady. Oh, and I noticed your comment about them going to adoption therapy, but never family therapy with you. They seem very self-absorbed. NTA. It's unfair of them to keep pressuring you this way, and you're not obligated to be adopted by Michelle. And while what you said was hurtful, I don't blame you, since you're only 17, and they won't respect your wishes and keep hounding you for the same thing. Honestly, I don't understand adults that keep pushing things like this. You can have a loving, familial relationship with someone without pushing adoption. But it wouldn't hurt to acknowledge Michelle in other ways and tell her how much you appreciate what she has done for you otherwise, and that you feel lucky that she's in your life. Even if not officially as an adoptive mother, if she indeed has otherwise been kind and supportive of you. NTA. You're right about both of them. They're prioritizing their feelings over yours. If your stepmother had just backed off, she could have had a much better relationship with you. But what they're doing is too controlling, and it isn't right. Please subscribe.